The season just gets weirder and weirder, honestly. It's been such a shambles. Let's react to this latest Andreas Christensen news, which is going to leave you very, very baffling.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Let's focus on the latest Andreas Christensen news. Let's react to what's been happening in the last 24 hours. Strange, but am I surprised about this particular player? Probably not, but I guess what has been surprising is it's been so frequent in recent times, this particular matter. And I don't know, sometimes in a particular way, it kind of feels very, very unprofessional. Like, we can sit here and say, well, Miz, we don't know exactly what the player's going through and this, that, the other, but it's very hard to side with the particular player when, you know, this player has pulled out from starting matches quite a bit in recent times. Let's go through the news before we actually make our opinion, and I want to see what you guys have to say about this as well. Andreas Christensen was in line to start the FA Cup final, but told Thomas Tuchel he was not ready to play, forcing Tuchel into a defensive rethink. It was not down to injury. So he was destined to start in the FA Cup final, and he pulled out. And no injuries at all. Further goes on to say, Andreas Christensen told Tuchel he was not ready to play and checked out of the hotel on Saturday morning. Didn't even stick around to see how his teammate was going to perform, and simply just checked out. You know, a couple of things that bother me, and we're going to get into the whole Christensen situation. The other thing that bothers me about this whole news is, why is still Thomas Tuchel relying on this particular player? I mean, this is what I said in recent times, that some of these decisions that Thomas Tuchel is taking, it's a bit of shame on him. Why are you giving these minutes to Christensen when you know he's leaving? This brother has been packing his bags for the past few months, trying his best not to play games. Yet you are giving him minutes, and you had him penciled down, destined to start. Why not Trevoh Chalobah from the get-go? A particular player that has signed a contract extension earlier this season, a particular player that you've trusted, just because of some mistakes in this particular season, which happens. He's a young player. You've stopped trusting him, which is mad. It should have been Trevoh Chalobah starting regardless. I can't believe Christensen was even thought about as a starter. Let's continue on in this particular story. Fabrizio Romano just tweeted this out. We're losing him. Thomas Tuchel final confirms on Andreas Christensen. The deal has been completed weeks ago with Barcelona. It's already signed. Danish centre-back will play for Barca next season. Both Christensen and Kessier can be considered Barca players. There's a lot of fan backlash on this particular news. Not many people are very happy about this, and we're going to look into the social media side of things. Simon Phillips just tweeted out off the back of what Adam Newson reported in the last 24 hours. Several members of the Chelsea first team were shocked by Andreas Christensen withdrawing from the squad for the FA Cup final. I mean, it's quite embarrassing. You're pulling out, and you're not injured. You didn't stick around. You just left. You couldn't care less about the team, and you left your team members feeling baffled on the final day. I mean, these dramas just keep continuing in Chelsea Football Club non-stop. We had the Lukaku situation earlier in the year. We've had several players since then, talking in social media. Timo Werner making those remarks about Chelsea as well. Christian Pulisic's dad in recent times. We've had all these off-field dramas in regards to sanctions, sale of the football club. It's crazy the amount of drama that's taking place. Rudiger obviously leaving. Um, I'm pretty sure I've probably lost count of many other scenarios, but we have to stop this next season. I don't know. I don't know what's happened this season. Is it because these players, their contract was coming to an end, and that's why they've started doing these shenanigans? But it has to stop. It really does. We've got a few players coming up to their last year in their contract next season. We need to make a decision. We cannot be going into next season with some of these players playing their last season, like your Jorginhos, N'Golo Kantes. I don't know who else is in that category. We have to make a decision now, because we cannot have those players having similar sort of situation next season like these players. I'm not saying Kante and Jorginho would do these kind of behavior. They probably wouldn't. But you just don't know on the final year how a player's mentality could be, because at the end of the day, these people are human beings and they're playing for their own future, their own self-being. As much as we like to think about loyalty, as much as we like to think that they play for the club's badge and they love the club, yes, some of them do, but predominantly at the end of the day, it's their livelihood, it's their well-being. Do you know what I mean? Like, they won't die for Chelsea Football Club. They have to make a living. They have to look after their family. And that's what they're going to do. So we have to make sure we don't fall into these sort of situation. Christensen, it's just, since we found out that he was heavily linked with Barcelona, and his whole saga has been quite disgusting, if I'm being absolutely honest. He was offered a contract off the back of him agreeing that particular contract, and then he reneged. And then he went through a situation where he let go of his agent. Then he demanded new, sort of stipulations on his contract, and Chelsea again obliged. And then once again he reneged. There were a few times he reneged, and it got to a point where I think Thomas Tuchel in a press conference actually said, the player needs to show. The player says that he loves Chelsea Football Club. The player says that he wants to be at Chelsea. But words cheap. Words are cheap. Action needs to be shown. I remember Thomas Tuchel said these kind of words in the press conference, that we've done everything that he's wanted. Whatever stipulation, whatever contract sort of terms and conditions he wanted, we gave him off the back of him asking that. But right at the end, it was never good enough. He kept on pulling out. And it got to a point where Barcelona must have reached out to him and eventually got his signature. And since, I think it all kind of started with these missing matches. Look, missing matches for Christensen isn't a new thing. He's done that previously with other managers. He's done that with Frank Lampard. I can't remember if he's done that previously with Sarri or whatnot, or with Antonio Conte. But 100% I remember him doing that with Frank Lampard just before starting match. The guy had stomach cramps and he pulled out. With Thomas Tuchel, he's done it quite frequently, especially in recent times. Off the back of that Arsenal game, I remember he made that mistake recently, that error in that Arsenal match game. And since then, Thomas Tuchel would have him in the starting lineup and he'd pull out right at the end. And he's done it at least 2 or 3 times. This one, in the final of a FA Cup, like, it would really throw a manager's plan out of the window. And I don't think that's fair, man. That's utterly unprofessional. What are these? It's not even injury. What, like, it's just stomach cramps? Come on, are you serious? Why is it happening so frequently? And why is it happening a lot more now that your move to Barcelona is getting closer and closer? I just want to showcase you guys. Let me see if anything else is here from Simon Phillips. No. This is what Vince said, and it kind of like really hits hard. Kovacic played with a swollen ankle. And Thomas Tuchel said, like, ankle wasn't even fit enough to get into a shoe, let alone play football. Silva played with a bad knee. Man could barely walk after the game. And we saw Silva played the 120 minutes, and it was mad how this guy just carried on. That's Chelsea mentality that I know. Some players aren't worth the stress. They know themselves. Even N'Golo Kante with one training session straight into a high-intensity match. Jorginho hasn't been completely fit in recent times as well, right into the match. This is what the fans are saying. Let's have a look at what everyone's talking about. Matisse, this is what he says. Funny tweet. And an Amazon documentary would have been incredible on Chelsea. Lukaku's MTV. Welcome to my crib episode. Christensen overdosed on Capol 3+. Boris Bikes blocking the megastore. Alonso screaming MF to Tuchel with Spanish subtitles would have smashed Titanic. Exactly. It's been too much of drama. Even this is the other one, Alonso, in recent times. Just too much drama in recent times. Something that we cannot simply afford to have next season. If you want to have a healthy, progressive season, look at the Man City and Liverpool. They barely are in the news, honestly, for drama kind of related news. Here's another tweet from someone from social media. Andreas Christensen told Tuchel he wasn't ready to play yesterday despite not being injured. 37-year-old Thiago Silva played 120 minutes despite getting injured early on. He had to limp out of Wembley Stadium. The difference, I mean, he literally limped out of the stadium. He left it all. His brother literally left it all. And then you have someone like Christensen who can't be bothered. Andreas Christensen, who's leaving for Chelsea for Barcelona at the end of the season, made himself unavailable for selection on the morning of Saturday's FA Cup final. Apparently, he didn't expect to start. That was some of the sources inside the, related to the player, said he didn't expect to start. And then when he was in the starting lineup, he just pulled out. It's just mad. I can't believe it. I really can't believe what's going on. Good luck to Barcelona. This is the kind of player you're going to get. Trevoh Chalobah played through the Carabao Cup final with an injury that required 6 stitches post-match, playing 120 minutes and scoring a pen, if you guys remember, in the Carabao Cup. He almost had his manhood taken away from him by Naby Keita. Andreas Christensen pulled out of an FA Cup final because his tummy hurt and he didn't expect to start. I know who my centre-back is. It's just mad. So this is what I'm saying. I don't think the treatment of Chalobah has been fair in recent times. A player that actually wants to play for Chelsea Football Club, and then you have another player that constantly wants to not play for Chelsea. Unbelievable that Christensen told Tuchel he wasn't ready to play in the cup final. No injury, just couldn't be bothered. Whatever, man. Enjoy Barcelona FC. 100%, man. Whatever. This is from Adam Newson. Understand several members of the Chelsea first team were shocked by Andreas Christensen withdrawing from the squad for the FA Cup final, especially as he was expected to start. Also, huge credit should go to Trevoh Chalobah. Wouldn't have been easy to step in late. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad this guy is gone. Kudos to Barcelona for taking him away. For me, that's utter unprofessional behavior, borderline disgusting, when you have been lined to play in the final of a FA Cup where there's been so much preparation going through. You pull out right at the end and making not just your teammates, baffled by the whole situation, but you've made your manager rethink the whole situation as well. And this isn't the first time. You've done it multiple times. I mean, honestly, I feel sad for Thomas Tuchel for him to go through all of these rubbish behaviors from players this season. Too much unsettling news throughout the season. I hope he can get a better grip next season, man. As I said, partly Thomas Tuchel's to blame a little bit here because he keeps picking him. I wouldn't have picked him at all. I would have just kept on going with Chalobah, but it is what it is. We move. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know how you feel about the whole scenario. Please comment below. If you've enjoyed this, smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. I can't wait for the next season, honestly. This has been one crazy, crazy season.